I wanted to do two or three things, if I may. I wanted to go through your issues with you about my house in Fulham and my house in Herefordshire. This is my home, Herefordshire. It's the constituency I represent, and I think it's the right thing to live in your constituency and make it your home. And I did that when I was first elected, 2001. I committed to live here, and I have done that. I live here, I come here every weekend, and this is where my home is. And if you didn't do that, if you said it's all based on Westminster, then no MP would live in their constituency, and I think that would be wrong. So my commitment is to Herefordshire. Now, you've picked up the issue from the stuff online about my house in London and my residence parking permit. And the bit you may not be aware of is that I've lived in Fulham for a very long time, because that's where I bought my first house in about 92, 93. So I've had a residence parking there for a long time. To qualify for a residence parking permit in Fulham, you must pay full council tax, which you know I do. And you also should, and their criteria, because when I saw your letter I rang them up, I said, what is your criteria for a main home? And I've checked in the past, and what they told me, again, was that it should be where your children go to school. And I think you know that my children go to school in London, because the parliamentary terms fit with the school terms. So although I've read your letter, I don't think you're right that I have claimed my main home is in two different places. My main home is in Herefordshire, but I qualify for a parking permit in Hammersmith and Fulham. Is that clear?
No, it's not clear. The actual Hammersmith and Fulham rules are who cannot apply for a parking permit. Somebody who spends the majority of their time at a different address. Now you've said in public.
I checked that because you would put that in your letter.
Yes, it's in their rules.
But actually that's not the criteria. I looked it on the website.
And in fact you said to the Parliamentary Commissioner that you believe that to be the criteria, which is why you didn't. But you can answer my questions as we come through them. I mean, I'm basically here to ask questions. I assume that's why I've been told to see me.
I haven't been told to see you. You asked to see me. I said I would. My surgery was full last Friday.
I booked 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah, but it was full, and that's why I made a special appointment for you today, because I kept my word.
Well, do you mind answering my questions?
Well, I think in
I've
fairness...
got 10 questions.
Go on then, shoot away.
Right, number one. In May 2009, David Cameron said, if Bill Wiggin is found to have claimed money he was not entitled to, he will be out of the door. Parliament has found that at that time you had claimed money you weren't entitled to. Do you think our Prime Minister should be true to his word?
I don't think, and Jim, you've read the judgment of the Commissioner, and that's not what it said.
Yes, it does.
It said, on the balance of probability, although I didn't break the rules, they thought I hadn't spent the money that I claimed on what I was supposed to spend it on.
They say it was a serious breach of the rules. They at no point say you didn't break the rules.
I'm trying to answer your question.
No,
but that's what it says in the report. The quote you've just used from David Cameron was with regard to my mortgage, and you campaigned very hard on my mortgage, and you read the report and you read what the Commissioner said about my mortgage, and you know that when he said those words he was telling the truth, and I haven't taken money, and specifically for my mortgage, which what he was talking about then, that I wasn't entitled to.
Are you saying that the Committee on Standards did not find that you took money you were not entitled to? Are you saying that they
the
didn't
Standards
find that?
and Privileges Committee's wording is very clear, and you can look it up. And they deemed that on the balance of probability I ought to pay some money back, and I've done that.
On September the 17th, 2009, an article appeared in the Daily Telegraph mentioning you and me. The next day you were in Leicester talking to Councillor Pauline Davis.
Yeah.
The following night the police were sent round my house to intimidate my family. Was that your idea, Pauline Davis's, or Benson Ferrari's?
I don't know. I haven't reported you to the police until you spoke to Gina and you worried her.
So you've reported me to the police for ringing up to ask if I could see you at a surgery?
No, we had a security check here done anyway. But what you said to my staff...
What did you report me to the police for?
What you said to my staff worried her.
Which police did you report me to?
To the Sergeant at Arms in the House of Commons. And I just want you to know...
What's happened?
I don't know. I've not got a vendetta or an issue with security and you, which is why you're here today, but I do have to protect my staff, and I think you should be supportive of that. Anyway.
Last year you sent a letter to all local councillors accusing me of living off benefits.
That's not true,
Hang on.
Jim.
Yes, you did. A man of honour would have apologised for maliciously defaming someone behind their back with such a lie. Why haven't you?
Well, Jim, let's talk about your posters when it comes to defamation, because what I sent out to the town councillors was a briefing note that asked a series of questions. And actually, this is a good way of bringing it up now. You have spent an awful lot of time and effort with my expenses and with me, and I don't understand how you've got time to do that. Are you very rich?
No, what I do, but no, I'm very
Are you
well
on
off.
benefits? I don't
I'm
know.
not on benefits.
Well, how
It's
do
a
you
disgraceful
pay your
thing
bill?
to say about anybody.
Why? What's
Why
wrong
have
with
you
being on
not
benefits?
apologised for it?
What's wrong with being on benefits?
Were you trying to slur me and slander me?
No, I asked a question just like I asked you now. I'm not slurring you.
Apologise for it now.
Well, there's nothing to apologise for because there's nothing wrong with being on benefits. And if you're not, that's fine. But if you are, it's fine as well. It's not a character assassination to be on benefits. And I would defend anybody on benefits.
Why did you mention it?
Because I don't understand how you can afford to do all this.
I'm a writer. I afford to do what? In the last year I've written 2 letters to the Parliamentary Commissioner. How much work is that?
I think you've done
One in
more than that,
November
Jim.
and
I
then
saw you
another
at the
one in
general
March.
election handing leaflets out.
One day.
And you've
I
been
couldn't be
sticking
bothered after
posters up, and you've been very busy.
that. No, the leaflet during the town council election last year, we leafleted one street and then stuck one through your letterbox.
And you've had
One
that
street.
meeting last week. I mean, you have been quite busy.
Not that busy.
Anyway.
Got nothing to do with me being on benefits, and I note. For
I
the
think
record
you're wrong
that you refuse to apologise.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with being on benefits,
Why
Jim.
did you raise it?
Because I don't understand how you can afford all this time. We have
What
done this.
time? 2 letters.
Well,
a meeting.
You've done a bit more than that,
And I
hasn't
stood
it?
for the town council 18 months ago. That's it.
But you went to court and you fought like a tiger on that. You've been very busy.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Lee Daneco, I assure you. Because of a fraud, I've just ordered all account statements from my bank dating back to 2002. It takes 2 weeks for them to arrive, but they do arrive without difficulty. The Standards Committee, in its report, made you an open-ended offer to show them your own bank statements, and they said you can still do so that they can establish exactly how much you did or did not embezzle from the public purse. Why are you refusing to comply when it's so easy to get?
I think if you're twitchy about using the words benefits, don't you think you should be careful with words like embezzle? Because the bit you perhaps don't know is that they did see my bank statements.
All of them?
Well, the ones that I showed them.
No, they said you showed them a couple, and then they said, can we see them all and all your
I think we'll
bills?
find they saw more than that.
They didn't see all of them. They say in the report that you refused to hand them over.
There was certain parts.
Why don't you say hand them all over now, and this will all be over? If you don't think, if you're saying you haven't
Jim,
embezzled or
this is over.
defrauded,
This is over. They've made their decision.
would you comply if the Metropolitan Police repeated the committee's request?
The Metropolitan Police, I think you will remember, have already checked me out. Don't you remember?
We haven't closed the file yet.
They
Prior
never
to the
closed
general
file.
election, the Hereford Times and the Hereford Journal ran stories that you had been cleared of any wrongdoing. Is that what you told them?
Sorry?
The Hereford Times and the Hereford Journal, before the election, ran stories that you had been cleared of any wrongdoing over expenses.
That's right.
Is that what you told them?
Well, I think it's true too.
You were under investigation.
No, that wasn't true. You've got
You
your dates
weren't under
wrong.
investigation at the time of the general election.
No, you.
Prior to.
Sorry. What I think you put in your letter was that when the leg report came out, do you remember?
Yes.
That I was under investigation there because
No.
of your complaint?
Elliot, Morley and Chater, they all had no issues next to their names. They had been taken to court,
Yes.
as you may well still be.
Well, we'll see about that.
Did you tell the
What-
Hereford Times and the Hereford
what
Journal
you-
that you had been cleared of any
But
wrongdoing?
I have been.
At the time of
Yes,
the general
I have
election?
been cleared
Who had you been cleared by?
by the leg report on
no,
the
they
mortgage.
didn't investigate you.
Yes, they did.
No, the
Yes.
Parliamentary Commissioner
Yes.
for Standards was investigating you at the time of the general election. Why did you tell the Hereford Times and the Journal that you were
Sorry,
under
I
investigation?
think you're getting muddled because I think the quote you've read out, and I think this is important, the serious accusation the Daily Telegraph made about a phantom mortgage.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, but
You
that
have been
is what
investigated on my
that is
complaints.
the quote you've just read out. That's what it's about.
No, it's not.
You're perhaps accidentally or deliberately muddling
the
up
Hereford
what the
Times and
Hereford
the
Times and
Journal
the Journal
both
wrote.
said that you'd been cleared of any wrongdoing. Did you tell them that?
I'm not sure you're getting this right, Jim. My understanding.
Why don't you answer me whether you told them that you'd been cleared of all
I
wrongdoing?
definitely told them I'd been cleared by the leg report, by the police, by the Crown Prosecution Service.
Did you mention the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards to them?
I think you'll find, if I'm correct, that your complaint against me to the Parliamentary Standards came in after that report.
My complaint
It was
went
last
out
November.
last November.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 weeks before the election, the Journal wrote a report that you'd been cleared of any wrongdoing. I had a Press Complaints Commission uphold my complaint about that.
I don't know about that.
Between November, when I made my complaint, and you were aware of it, and the general
I
election,
have
did you
no
tell those
idea
papers?
what you've done with the Press Complaints Commission, I'm afraid. I don't know.
Between November last year, when you were aware that a complaint had been made against you to the Commissioner,
I don't think so.
and the election, did you tell the papers you'd been cleared?
I don't think so.
I'll find out. The Telegraph columnists were halfway through. Simon Heffer recently described you in writing as this shyster.
Yes.
Shyster is an appalling word. It comes from the German scheiss and means excrement. Are you going to sue the Telegraph for defamation?
That may happen.
Paul Staines in his online blog.
I have